first NFL start, a place where he knows very well as the Seahawks try to close strong against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, who could win the NFC West. A lot at stake in Week 18 for both of these teams out of the West, both tangible and intangible. The Seahawks come to town to take on the Arizona Cardinals, who have 11 wins on the season. Welcome to Week 18 for the first time and inside the broadcast booth. Adam Amin, Mark Schlereth, Shannon Spake is with us as well. So a quality win on the road for Arizona last week. They snapped their three-game skid. They returned back home with a lot to play for. Could potentially play some home games here in Arizona, but they've lost their last 4 regular season home games. How do they clean things up?
Yeah, I'm not so sure that playing at home is good for them. They'd rather go on the road right now, but it really comes down to this. Protection, number one for Kyler Murray. When he's protected, he feels great comfort, and then it's self-inflicted wounds. No penalties, and make sure you play loose. Have some fun. That's what they said they haven't done well at home.
And on the other side, Seattle, talking with them, with Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll, they're playing loose right now. They're coming in with a full-on attitude that they want to close this season strong with a win today. In fact, they have more wins than Arizona since the start of December.
Yeah, it really comes down to playing physical. Control the trenches, run the football. Rashard Penny has been unbelievable running the ball, and they keep it simple, but can they dominate that line of scrimmage? Because that opens up their play action. It gives them that opportunity to really explode on offense.
We mentioned that there's plenty to play for today. We will keep you up to date with the Rams and 49ers all afternoon long. If the Cardinals win and the Rams lose, the Cardinals could be the 2 or the 3 seed and win the NFC West. If the Rams win, they will lock up the NFC West title, and that will put Cliff Kingsbury's team into the 5 seed in his first playoff trip as head coach. First trip since 2015 for Arizona. Pete Carroll trying to close this year strong. They're 3-2 since the start of December. They put up 51 points against Detroit in an inspired win last week. Arizona won the toss and deferred, so it's DJ Dallas back to return this Matt Prater kick. And off we go in Week 18. And down to the field we go in Shannon Spake, and the Seahawks are going to give a good punch, but they're going to have to do it without one of their best players.
That is right, Adam. That, of course, is 8-time Pro Bowler Bobby Wagner. Started 62 consecutive regular season games, out today with a knee injury. And boy, oh boy, will he be missed as they try to shut down this Cardinals run offense led by James Conner. Now, as far as what the Seahawks have to play for, Pete Carroll told us, we know no one cares about us playing. We know our season's over after today, but we have made a decision, and we are going to go for it, Adam.
Russell Wilson echoed as such. These two teams have played some fun ones the last few years. Russell Wilson will start this one with a throw. Looking for Metcalf, who stumbled out of that second break. Incomplete with Kevin Peterson in coverage. So Russell Wilson made his NFL debut September the 9th, 2012 in this building. It was a loss to Arizona. He's performed well for the most part in this building since. Some talk that this could be his last Seattle Seahawks game, but you saw his career encapsulation. Whether it is or it isn't, this has been a pretty good run with Russell regardless.
Yeah, I can't imagine it being his last Seahawks game.
Under pressure, lost the football, scooped up the other way by Zach Allen, and the Cardinals on fire on defense to start the game.
Well, where does it always start? It starts right here with 55. You're talking about one of the best. Chandler Jones off the edge. I guarantee you one thing, you got to block that guy. You got to have a plan for him. He gets to Russell Wilson, Zach Allen, who's played exceptionally well. You see the fumble right there with the left hand by Chandler Jones, and scoop and score, that's what it's all about. I tell you what, you better come up with a better plan than that. 55 can't run free.
12 seconds in and a touchdown and a 7-0 Arizona lead, and nobody has sacked Russell Wilson more in Wilson's career than Chandler Jones. He punched it loose for Allen to take the other way.
And it comes down to 2 things. 1, you have to know where 55 is. 2, if you're the quarterback, you better sense that. If he is not picked up, That's on you, Russell Wilson. If you understand that he is the one guy that we can't account for, that ball has to come out on a 3-step drop. You can't pull it down, pat it, and continue to play that way. So, you know, those things are oftentimes people look at the offensive line and say, boy, that's a bad mistake by your O-line. But that one's a quarterback. That's a 3-step drop. You're expecting that ball to be out.
This is what Arizona has done as well as any team in the NFL, is punch the ball out. Chandler Jones has sacked Russell Wilson now 16 and a half times in regular season games. This is what they do. Forced fumbles, 20 of them now. And a defensive touchdown to start the day for Vance Joseph's crew. What a start for Arizona.
One thing about Vance Joseph right there, the defensive coordinator, he's going to bring heat. When the pressure's on, they're going to bring the pressure. And that's what they do, and they've done it consistently all season long, but it's really ramped up here in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
So rough start for Russell Wilson, who played very well against Detroit last week. They'll go back out there. And one thing obviously you want to see is the continued establishment of the run game. Rashad Penny has been dynamite over the course of these last 4 games or so.
Exactly, and why would you not continue to lean on that? They open up the game with 2 straight passes. This is where this offense has to start. It's got to be with Penny, and then everything plays off that running game in the play-action game.
Here is Penny. Takes it out for 4 yards. The Cardinals defensively, a little bit banged up, but they have done a nice job adjusting up front. Their linebackers are really good. We've seen Chandler Jones, and you love, as many do, Budda Baker in the back end.
Budda Baker just plays so fast. He's the fastest guy on the football field as far as triggering and going hitting people.
Hey, what do you know? Runs for Rashad Penny lead a couple of solid plays. Out to the 49-yard line goes Penny in the Seahawk offense. A 20-yard run.
I mean, when you run it this well, when you control the line of scrimmage, look at the hole that Penny finds as he slides across the formation, and then it's just getting uphill, making big things happen. But it starts with that offensive line controlling the tempo, controlling the line of scrimmage first.
Man, Inc. B58. Fan that. Inc.
Go. Right back to him. And had it not been for the trip up right into Arizona territory, he would have had more. He'll take it down to the 46-yard line. So last week, Rashad Penny, 170 rushing yards, a career high. He had 2 touchdowns. And this last 4-game stretch by far has been the best of his career. The story on Penny, you know, injury laden over the course of the last several years. Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson, this whole offense very happy for Rashad Penny, who is going to be an unrestricted free agent after this game. He gets the fake. Wilson has a release, and that's Colby Parkinson, the tight end. Jalen Thompson knocked him down. That'll set up 3rd down.
And, you know, when you have the running game going, when things are going for you that way, now all of a sudden that run action, the boot keep action, that flat throw to Parkinson, those things become so easy. They're just simple completions where your quarterback doesn't really have to think. He doesn't really have to read the defense. He just can roll out there, throw it to the flat, put yourself in 3rd and short.
Wilson lofts it up there. Tyler Lockett got loose, and Tyler Lockett will take it in. What a response by Seattle, and how about the fireworks in the first 2.5 minutes out in Glendale? A 43-yard touchdown to Tyler Lockett.
Well, Borders right here is just going to roll up, and here is Lockett. He's just going to run the corner. You see it? The confusion in that backhand, and there goes Lockett. And there is nobody in the NFL that throws it on time, on target, deep, better than Russell Wilson.
And how many times have the Cardinals seen that? How many times have teams in the NFL seen Tyler Lockett out of a set just get loose and Wilson find him? It happens again. And just like that, Seattle, after a dreadful start to the day, responds well in 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Obviously, every scoring play is reviewed. They're confirming whether or not he had crossed the plane of the goal line in bounds. Tyler Lockett, 4 touchdowns in his last 5 games.
Yeah, and you're thinking about, here he goes right there at the, does the ball cross that pylon?
Looked like he stayed in bounds with that foot, the left foot, most of the way. That's what the field judge was taking a look at. That seems to be past that pylon. Sure enough, it is a touchdown confirmed. So Jason Myers will come on for the extra point. This receiving core for the Seahawks, you know him, Metcalf and Lockett. Metcalf was fired up as anybody when Lockett got loose.
Celebrate it like it's your own touchdown, Adam.
Man, if you blinked, you missed a lot. Chandler Jones, nobody has sacked Russell Wilson more. He knocked that ball loose on the 3rd play of the day, leading to a Zach Allen touchdown. Seattle gets the ball back. Rashad Penny a big run, and then the 43-yard strike to Tyler Lockett. 7-7, and there's still 12:26 to play here in the opening quarter. The road team has had the better of these meetings over the course of the last decade since Russell Wilson showed up. Seahawks are 6-2-1 in Arizona during that stretch. Greg Dortch, touchback, Arizona to the 25, and we check in with Chris. This had a perfect opportunity today. They blew it against Jacksonville. Pittsburgh taking advantage for the time being. So here's the Cardinal offense for the first time today. Kyler Murray from the 25. James Conner is nursing that heel issue, but he is going to start in the backfield today. There he is, slithering through. Poona Ford on the stop after a gain of 3. So Kyler Murray with a fantastic season. He'll go to the NFL playoffs for the first time. 2nd straight Pro Bowl nod. A couple of touchdown passes last week against Dallas in a key game, keeping the Cardinals' hopes for the NFC West title alive. Murray under pressure from Jordan Brooks, got rid of it to Connor, who got submarined by Quandre Diggs. That'll set up 3rd down. Arizona does have their playoff offensive line starting. This is the lineup they hope to have going the rest of the way. And on the other side for the skill guys, Zach Ertz, you wanted to point him out. He's played well against Seattle.
He really has, and Zach Ertz has really been a pivotal piece for them, controlling the middle of the football field, tying up safeties to make sure they can get the one-on-ones on the outside for their receivers who can run every route in the route tree.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns in the Week 11 victory. Whistle from the far side of the field with a penalty marker killing the play. This may be a neutral zone infraction against Seattle. It would make it 3rd and short. Sean Smith is our lead official.
Neutral zone infraction, defense number 52. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Darrell Taylor, who's been good at getting to the quarterback, was in the neutral zone. 3rd down and 2 coming up. So as we said, all day we will keep you up to date on what's happening in that Rams-49ers game. That is the crux. That's the key game into determining what happens to Arizona. We'll keep you up to date on Carolina and Tampa as well, and New Orleans, Atlanta, but that's the key game. Rams lose, Cardinals win. Cardinals win the NFC West.
Where you going? 5-7.
Murray sets the feed and launches. And it's incomplete for A.J. Green. Josh Jones playing his first defensive snaps since signing with the Seahawks. Had the coverage out on A.J. Green.
Well, just a slot fade right here. We're going to run it out down the sideline. And this is one of the things about protection. You think this is a deep pass. This comes off a 5-step drop with 0 hitches. So you don't have to go into a protection mode. And you saw it right there with Josh Jones getting that hand out on that slot fade to defend it perfectly. Really nice job by him. He's a skilled cover corner.
Arizona trying to make sure they got the right personnel. Remember, they ran a fake punt last week that was successful against Dallas. All sorts of confusion, though, with the personnel grouping. Still 1 on the play clock when the whistle was blown. You wonder if there was a timeout. There's Jeff Rogers, the special teams coordinator for Arizona.
We'll replay the down. The ball was snapped before ready for play.
Okay, so the officials weren't ready.
You mentioned Jeff Rogers. Jeff Rogers is the right-hand man of Cliff Kingsbury. He's really the game manager on the offensive side of the ball, so Cliff can concentrate on calling plays, not the play that he's calling, but 3 and 4 and 5 plays ahead. So Jeff really helps him with the management of the game and special situations and clock management.
A booming punt from Andy Lee, forcing Freddie Swain back to the 10. Past the first wave and wrapped up on the sideline. 12-yard return on the 57-yard boot. Darrell Daniels on the stop. Seattle has had to dip into the bench and into the practice squad for some DBs. A key play by Josh Jones to end the drive. Early game scores. Cleveland with a victory today. That actually does adjust some of the seeding possibilities. Pittsburgh with a huge victory in overtime, as Carissa told you about. So as long as Raiders-Chargers doesn't end in a tie tonight, Pittsburgh gets in. Colts still can get in with some help, but boy, they really blew a huge opportunity today to try to make the playoffs. And of course, on the NFC side, Rams have the early lead. They get a field goal in the first quarter from their offense and the Pro Bowler Matt Gay to take a 3-0 lead. Good atmosphere here in Glendale as the Seahawks start this drive from the 22. No Gabe Jackson up front today. Phil Haynes making his second NFL start at right guard. Started at left guard last week. Damian Lewis is back for Seattle up front.
16. Go.
Right back to Penny. Slips that first tackle. Gets to the edge, and Antonio Hamilton forces him out. Good run again from Penny of 10.
It's always nice to get a little help from your friends as well. Tyler Lockett makes the big touchdown catch over the top. Then he gets a little block on the edge. And you've got to have that. You've got to have guys sold out for the running game at the wide receiver position.
Wilson keeps it this time, and Zach Allen chases him down for no gain. Mentioned Seattle is thin on the back end. Same deal with Arizona. They continue to deal with DB injuries. Marco Wilson is out for a second straight game, and Kevin Peterson was being tended to on the Arizona sideline. So Byron Murphy, Antonio Hamilton, and Breon Borders making his Arizona debut, all playing corner. There's Murphy locked up with Everett.
Go. Yeah. Go.
Metcalf gets loose in the middle against Chandler Jones. Budda Baker and the rest of the defense have to catch up to Metcalf. And they're just short of the line to gain. Third down.
Well, this is one thing you love about Budda Baker. Plays fearless football. I don't care how big DK Metcalf is. I'm going to use my body. He's like a crash test dummy, for crying out loud. He has zero and blatant disregard for his own well-being.
You think Baker and Metcalf have ever hooked up in one of these things? Those two know each other very well. Wilson trying to sneak it off the left, and he seems to have enough for the first down. Remember, it was in this building last year that Budda Baker interception. DK Metcalf chased him down. They've had the chance to visit with each other just once or twice since then. All part of the fun of this Arizona-Seattle matchup the last half-decade to a decade. Slant to Metcalf. Good gain near midfield on first down. Hamilton makes the stop.
I love the tempo that Seattle's playing with right now. You see them not really huddling up. They're getting to the line of scrimmage. They're making sure that they don't get this play clock down underneath 15, because when they do, Arizona's so good at bringing pressure. They want to make sure that they see that and have plenty of time to snap it so they don't get caught in one of those pressures they can't pick up.
Here's Penny trying to steer. Good penetration by Isaiah Simmons. one of the key pieces to this Arizona defense, which makes them tough to decipher.
It really is, and he's one of these guys that back here, he can play defensive back, he can play middle linebacker, he can play the nickel position, he can play free safety, strong safety, and you see them right there diagnose the play. Just a little bit ago, a couple plays ago, he was playing in the deep half of the football field. So he's one of those guys that's positionless, and he really makes it hard to identify what this defense is playing for Vance Joseph.
Four-man rush. Wilson spins away, looking for Homer, and it's incomplete. Breon Borders, his Arizona debut today. He was in coverage that time. Wilson wanted to go to the top side, but that was covered up initially.
Yeah, well, because they're all in here. Now watch them bail out here and take that throw away. He wants to throw the slant to 16. That's Lockett. It's not there. He's got to pull the ball down. That's the confusion that this team can create. And there is Gardeck getting the pop on Russell late.
So Michael Dixon will punt away. Christian Kirk is back to return. He's done a lot of punt returning in his NFL career, but only one this season. It was last week against Dallas. Remember, Rondale Moore, their typical return man, an excellent receiver, is out today. Arizona's defense making a stand. Tied up halfway through the first. A lot of fireworks already. From Maricopa County, northwest of downtown Phoenix, that's Glendale, Arizona, where the Arizona Cardinals call home. A little bit of a desert drought this season. They are fantastic on the road. A franchise record with 8 road wins, but after starting 3-0 at home, they've lost their last 4 games. Now, granted, 3 of those against very good teams, Green Bay, Los Angeles Rams. They play the Colts as well, who got eliminated today from playoff contention, but Cliff Kingsbury said they have to be cleaner at home, and that's important, especially if they end up hosting a playoff game or 2 at home.
Yeah, and Cliff talked about no penalties, playing cleaner, and all those things. But Kyler Murray said, man, we got to have fun. He goes, we just get at home, and there's almost this uptight nature to the way we play. We got to be loose. We got to let it eat. You know, we got to do those things that we've done on the road. We've got to bring that same mentality, kind of, it doesn't matter, let's just go get it here at home.
Starting this drive from the 11 with Connor in the backfield. Stretch to the edge, short gain, good play by Jordan Brooks, who's got a lot of connectivity to this game. 3rd in the NFL in tackles this year. Played for Cliff Kingsbury at Texas Tech. Was an All-American there for Matt Wells after Kingsbury was let go. He's played Kyler Murray a couple of times. He knows him very well. That guy has a lot to play for today, he told us.
Yeah, there's no question about it. This guy is just a football player, man. Triggers, hits people, flies around the football field.
Right on cue, there he is helping out on the tackle with DJ Reed on the perimeter. That brings up 3rd down.
And we talked to Pete Carroll about Jordan Brooks, and he said, listen, this is a kid who is so physically gifted, and when he starts to really understand the presence, when he starts to understand what he is supposed to do all the time, he is going to be sky's the limit type of player for Pete Carroll and the Seahawks.
Here comes a blitz from Cody Barton. Murray's got one-on-one, and he's got A.J. Green with a penalty marker thrown. Ugo Amadi was in coverage. We'll check that flag.
Well, how about that? That's the 2nd time they've gone to A.J. Green with that slant fade.
Pass interference, offense number 18. Half the distance penalty, 3rd down.
Just the extension of the arm right there.
Right there.
Not a lot of contact, but it's the extension.
When the elbow goes straight, when you use that whole arm goes straight, you can't fully extend the arm. As soon as you do, that's the trigger for the official to pull the little yellow hanky. So as soon as that arm goes straight, that's what they're looking for, and that's exactly the way, the structure that you're supposed to call that penalty with. Perfectly done by the officiating crew.
Negates a 26-yard play, and it sets up 3rd and 14 now. Murray rifles, good grab by Zach Ertz. Forward progress, though, seems to be just a yard short. Good job by Cody Barton to get there and stop Ertz. It would set up a 4th down and 1.
Yeah, and because Cody Barton got such depth right here, watch the depth that he gets. It forces Zach Ertz to keep that short of that first down marker.
So the offense out there, 4th down and 1. And they give it to Connor, who is lined up as an up back, surfing a couple of defenders. And he may have just done enough to keep the drive alive by riding some bodies to a first down.
Well, there you have it. You know, we talked to Cliff Kingsbury. We talked to Kyler Murray. He said, man, it's about having fun. It's about going out there. You can see the sticks on the opposite side. There's Connor, and you can see that body get over the top of that, continuing to fight. But I'll tell you what, that's one way to have a little fun, right? That's one way to let it loose. Go for it on your own 20.
Sure. So now Connor comes out. Jonathan Ward, who had some big moments last week against Dallas, he's in. He gets the fake. Murray in the scramble situation will slide down in front of Cody Barton and Ugo Amadi at the 27-yard line.
Well, isn't that one of the big weapons for Kyler Murray?
Yep.
And the thing about that is you think of him as this athletically gifted dude, which he is. He's a quarterback first. So that whole time on that scramble, he's got his eyes down the football field. He would much prefer to throw that football than scramble it. But he keeps them in front of the chains right here, puts them in 2nd down and 3.
And Cam Newton, two of the best dual threats to start a career. Eno Benjamin gets the carry. Kind of slip away from Brooks, finished off by Taylor. 3rd down and short for Arizona here. So Chase Edmonds had started the last 2 games. James Conner was out the last 2 games with a heel injury. Edmonds is now out with both rib and toe issues. So we were told James Conner would start. They're going to be careful with him, but obviously Arizona has a lot to play for. They want to win this game. And Cliff Kingsbury said, we will use Conner as need be. He's back in for 3rd and short. Pass play. Past the sticks. 1st down. A.J. Green wrapped up by Sidney Jones, who's back in the lineup for Seattle. Spot him at the 35-yard line on a fresh set of downs for Arizona.
I like that. Keep the defense guessing, right? 3rd down and short. They go earlier to Connor. Now 3rd down and short. We throw it out there just beyond the sticks to A.J. Green. Keep everything in your playbook open. Make the defense defend the entirety of the football field, east, west, north, and south.
See the 3-time Super Bowl champ Ken Norton Jr., the defensive coordinator in his 4th year with Seattle. Greg Dortch in motion to give to Connor. Good cutback. And a good gain on 1st down for Connor out to the 40. He'll pick up 5.
That's a huge cutback right there, all the way back against the grain. And James Conner, I know they said they're going to try to, manage him to some degree, but James Conner isn't managing himself. I guarantee you that. I mean, that is a physical run by James Conner, and that's one thing he has been so exceptional at.
Another guy is going to be a free agent along with Edmonds at the end of this season. Under pressure, Kyler Murray finds James Conner for the 1st down, takes the pop from Barton, and moves the chains to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the undervalued aspects of Connor. Now, first off, second baseman, Kyler Murray right there, side-arming it over there. That's one of the things that he learned in that baseball career, but Connor really doing a good job catching that ball and getting it up for the 1st.
Ertz trying to hurdle. Sidney Jones kept that body up, and he's able to knock him down in Seattle territory after a 4-yard gain.
I think those off-schedule plays in the running game, those guys understanding those running backs, whether it was Edmonds over the course of the year, whether it's Connor over the first course of the year, it's just that feel of you're blocking, something's going down. Now let me leak out and give my quarterback one more target. There you saw it with Connor. He did a great job.
11th play of this drive is a blitz from Seattle and a fine for Jonathan Ward. He's able to work himself out of bounds for a gain. It'll set up 3rd down and medium here. DJ Reed forced him out of bounds. So the back end for Seattle, they have DJ Reed, Ugo Amadi starting at essentially the free safety spot, although they switch off. Quandre Diggs is normally that position. He slots over to strong safety because Ryan Neal is on the COVID list. Neal is the man who replaced Jamal Adams at that position. Sidney Jones is back at corner today. A lot of shuffling on the back end for the Seahawks today, too.
First charge, timeout, Seattle.
Seahawks use a timeout, and we'll be back after this from Progressive. 42 seconds to play in what's been an entertaining opening period. These two teams met in Week 11 in Seattle in late November, a 23-13 Cardinals win with Colt McCoy at quarterback. That was when Murray was out dealing with a sprained left ankle. He's been back since the bye week, trying to get back on track offensively.
400.
Murray is looking for Zach Ertz, but that gets batted down by Carlos Dunlap, who's had a really strong season for Seattle this year. Fourth down.
Carlos Dunlap coming off the edge. The penetration is the key here, right? Two hands inside, get right in the quarterback's grill, and then get your hands up. When you see him trigger, that second hand comes off the football, get your arms up in the air, and see if you can affect the pass.
Let it loose, right? They're going for it on fourth down again. This time in plus territory. Oh, they got the jump. It's going to be a first down for Arizona. That time, Rasheem Green a little too overzealous. A free 5.
Neutral zone infraction, defense number 94. 5-yard penalty, results in the first down.
Dunlap and Green have been so good in pass rush situations, but Green got a little antsy on that one, and the cadence wins it.
Well, sure. I mean, you want to go out there and get those sacks, right? Look at the clock. There it is. Jumps off. That's what you want, man. That's what you're looking for right there. Got to be more disciplined on the defensive side of the ball.
Spotted at the 41-yard line, and one play to start this fresh set with James Conner.
My goodness.
Powers his way down to the 36-yard line. The Rams have extended the lead. They've got a 10-0 advantage now on San Francisco. Here's Murray, dancing a lot, and he's going to turn it into a positive play. Ends up sliding into DJ Reed. They're going to mark him just short of the line to gain, but it'll be 3rd and short to start quarter number 2. 14 points scored in about the first 2.5 minutes of this ball game. Going to have some scoreboard watching. Chandler Jones getting after Russell Wilson. What else is new? Zach Allen with a touchdown. Tyler Lockett with a touchdown. 7-up. I don't know which one of these stocks is Dogecoin and which one's crypto and which one's Bitcoin and all that stuff. But let me tell you, the NFC playoff picture has been fairly volatile this year with the teams that are still in the mix. This isn't even talking about Minnesota, how deep they were in it. A team like Atlanta was fighting. Washington in the middle of the year was trying to make it. But here's where it's ended up. 49ers need to win today to get into the 6th seed. If they lose and the Saints win, the Saints would get a chance to jump right over them. In fact, it's a win and in situation for New Orleans today. We're keeping track of the Rams-49ers game because it directly involves the Cardinals trying to lock up maybe the 2 or 3 seed and the NFC West title, something they haven't done since 2015, the last time they made the playoffs. 3rd down and short on the 15th play of this drive, which began at its own 11-yard line for Arizona. A slip by Connor, but nobody had touched him, so he's able to get back up and move ahead for the first down to the 30.
I think he tripped over the foot on that handoff, that exchange. Look at the 2 feet. I think it's right there.
Yeah, Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray gets him. But the presence of mind to jump right back up, understanding that you got tripped up by the quarterback, get that first down.
Dortch in motion and a little pop pass to him. That'll go down as a reception. Here's Carissa Thompson with the game break. Tyler Higbee this year, and that extends the Rams' lead. And Rams, with a win or a tie, would win the NFC West. It'd still be a lot of jockeying for the 2 and 3 seeds, depending on the other games.
Contact. Second down.
Looked like Pete Carroll had maybe taken the challenge flag out, but pocketed it. So 2nd down and 6 coming up on what's been an extended Arizona series. 9 minutes off the clock. Screen for Connor. Trying to navigate through, and Cody Barton popped him shy of the line to gain. Not by much, though. Barton and Brooks, and remember, Cody Barton making his first career middle linebacker start with Bobby Wagner out.
Yeah, Brooks, and look at inside out right there. One linebacker on the outside. Brooks, Cody Barton from the inside. And go ahead, that's when you go backwards as a running back. When those two guys hit you, they wrap up, you're going backwards. Really nice play by Cody Barton.
Big opportunity for him today, yeah.
Yeah.
3rd time that the Cardinals have a 3rd and 1 on this long drive. It's Connor trying to stretch it, and he's going to go down for a loss. Quandre Diggs led the way. Former Cardinal Robert Kimdichie was out there as well, and it brings up 4th down.
Remember, Diggs is a guy that was talking about, hey, man, I'm a free safety. Now you see him at the line of scrimmage actually playing strong safety, forcing that thing and getting that negative yard run.
Yeah, you got to play more down in the box when you're a strong safety in Ken Norton Jr.'s defense, much like a Jamal Adams. Made a good play there.
That's what happens when you have versatility. You have guys that are injured, guys that don't make it because of COVID. Now all of a sudden switch positions and still have the ability to make a play.
So Prater from 41. The battery is very good. It was not when these two teams last met with some of the shifting at long snapper. Prater delivers the special teams player of the week in the NFC. But James Conner takes a lot of pride in the short yardage situations. Couldn't convert that time. I mean, how many times have we seen Russell Wilson make so much magic late in games? But the theme for Seattle this year, these incredibly close games that typically they win, that they have lost this year. They're 0-5 in games decided by 3 points or less. The latest coming against Chicago in that snow game 2 weeks ago. Russell Wilson, who's got 31 career game-winning drives, does not have a single one this season.
And that's always something that Pete Carroll, the head coach of Seattle, has preached, something he's talked to his team about. We win the tight games, and this is one of those things this year that really they just have not found a way to get that done.
How about that impressive drive, though, on both sides? 19 plays that started at their own 11. Great move down the field, and then a good stand by the Seattle defense.
But that's the problem with Arizona at home. You can't go 19 plays. Well, they just did. I mean, but you don't want to go 19 plays and settle for 3 points. You put 19 plays on the board, you got to come away with 7.
Prater with a touchback kick down to the field, and Shannon Spake.
Well, we asked Wilson and Pete Carroll about this being the last game. Obviously, you guys, it's not usual for them to come into a game knowing it is going to be the last one of the season. You know, Russell Wilson said before he even got drafted, he sat down and wrote some goals out. And one of the goals, the top of the list, was treat every day as a new day. And that's really how this entire team has treated this entire week. Pete Carroll said it's very unusual that this is the last game, but the guys have pushed forward. We've had fun, and they've all bought in.
It's only the second time in the last decade that Seattle is not going to the playoffs. Start this drive from the 25-yard line. Here is Penny. It's chopped down by Budda Baker. So to Shannon's point, the attitude, the mentality. Look at pregame.
Look at Pete.
Right into the camera.
Well, he said this was going to be like their Super Bowl. Let's go out there and play this game like it's the Super Bowl. And he loves to have that atmosphere, that competitive nature of Pete Carroll.
by Chandler Jones right in the face of Russell Wilson again, forcing that errant throw. Third down. Jones already with a sack and a strip today.
Yeah, he's not buying the handoff away. You know, that time you almost want to just let him go, see if he can chase down the football field. That time they blocked him on the edge, and it kept him up the field. And so then he saw Russell Wilson hold on to the ball and affected that throw, obviously.
Poker line. Go right, poker line. That's one. Go.
Wilson looking for a window. He's so good going to his right, and he'll complete to Travis Homer out of the backfield. And Homer still going out near midfield.
You know, the first thing you've got to do, and the first thing you have to recognize, Russell Wilson in the pocket. Watch both hands on this football. He feels that game. Look at both hands on the inside, navigating that traffic. Now once he gets to the outside, take that hand off the ball, look for how you're going to dump this thing off. Look at the eyes as he sees Homer. Just a beautiful little flip out to Homer for the first down. But it was all about maintaining the football in that traffic when that pass rush is coming at you.
First and 23-yard gain on the play. Now a jet sweep for Tyler Lockett, and he'll take it into Arizona territory. We have two quarterbacks here that have a very athletic and diverse skill set. Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, a lot of comparisons have been made between the two. Murray kind of models his game in a sense after Russell, and it's going outside the pocket to his right where so many big plays have been made in Russell Wilson's Seattle career. Wilson under pressure. They'll throw it short for Metcalf. Third down coming up. Here's Carissa Thompson with the game break.
Thank you, Adam. Rams already up 10-0. Matthew Stafford drops back, finds Tyler Higbee again. This one from 15 yards out. Rams rolling 17-0. Adam?
We'll see if that affects Cliff Kingsbury and how he approaches the second half, if that continues to be the case out in LA. Arizona showed blitz and dropped out of it. Wilson for Metcalf. Brought down by Jalen Thompson inside the 20-yard line. And DK Metcalf got loose for 32.
Well, DK Metcalf, tight slot here, just running the through route. You see him, watch him get up on the toes of the DB and then just get across the field so Isaiah Simmons can't get involved in that, dropping back from that zone. And look, the beautiful touch as he layers that ball over the top of those defenders right into the hands of Metcalf.
3 grabs already for DK. Really nice job by Zach Allen fighting through the block to force different movement, and then the rest of the Cardinals rally to the football.
He's done such a good job this year. He's a kind of an undersized D lineman, but he's got those strong hands, that ability to extend and then shed guys, get off and be athletic enough to go make plays.
How about Zach Allen? He had the fumble recovery for the touchdown to get Arizona on the board. It was his first touchdown since November of 2014 when he was playing high school tight end. He had a touchdown catch. Had one today to get Arizona up 7-0. 15 seconds in. Wilson guns it to the end zone, and it's incomplete for Colby Parkinson. That would have been the first career touchdown for the second-year man out of Stanford. Third down.
Well, great coverage on the inside by Jordan Hicks, but look at where this football ends up. Right here, down the sideline, or down the seam, but watch him throw it to the back shoulder right here, saying basically, Parkinson, you go out there, you make a play. If you can't make it, nobody's going to make it, because he's got that inside leverage from Hicks, but really nicely done by Hicks as he runs the seam with Colby Parkinson.
Wilson pointing out receivers, looking for Parkinson, who did a nice job sitting down at the sticks and holding on in front of Breon Borders. 12-yard pickup in front of Borders.
I love it. I mean, Russell Wilson just climbs the pocket. Watch him take this ball. Look at how he climbs away from the pass rush. Now attack that line of scrimmage. Get guys to commit. Get guys to stop their feet. Then throw it to the sideline for the first down.
First and goal. Wilson rolling right. And he's able to complete it to Lockett again. Touchdown to the Seahawks. Take their first lead of the day.
And that is classic red zone football right there. One, you're just going to come in here and get to the outside if you're Tyler Lockett right there. Now look at him spin back out of that thing, but it's about extending the play. So Russell Wilson moving from his middle of the football field out to the right-hand side, creating that separation, giving him that opportunity, extending that play, and then throwing an absolute dime piece to Tyler Lockett on the outside.
Boy, Tyler Lockett's on fire right now. 5 touchdowns in the last 5 games. Had the big game in terms of yardage on the road at Houston. Been a really nice stretch for Lockett, who is the leading receiver on the team. A 3rd straight 1,000-yard campaign. And a lot of credit to Seattle. 2 plays in, you saw the strip sack and Arizona take the lead. They responded with a touchdown drive then. Arizona comes down with a long drive and a field goal. They respond with another touchdown to Lockett. 14-10, Seattle on top. Let's go back to week 7, the last time these two teams met at State Farm Stadium. Huge game for Tyler Lockett. 3 touchdowns in that one. DeAndre Hopkins had 100 yards and a score. Kyler Murray with 360 yards, 3 TDs. Wilson had 3 TDs, battled through 3 picks. And then Zane Gonzalez, the 48-yard field goal with 15 seconds left in overtime to give the Cardinals a 37-34 win. You talked with Russell Wilson the other day, and he did not take this game lightly. I think a lot of people obviously have an idea about Wilson in general and the attitude and the mentality and all that. That's what's led them to more success than not. But Arizona knew they were going to get a good punch today, too. And so far, some impressive responses by Seattle.
Every time I talk to Russell Wilson, I just feel like I've done nothing with my life. That guy maximizes every second of every day. And you saw him on the sideline firing his teammates up.
And Kyler Murray will get a chance to respond again. Greg Dortch will take the knee. 25-yard line for Murray and the Cardinals. Well, it's a special night of comedy premieres. First, Mayim Bialik is back in the season premiere of Call Me Kat, and then the series premiere of the life-changing comedy Pivoting. Call Me Kat, followed by Pivoting tonight after the NFL on Fox. "19-play drive, the longest of the season the last time Arizona had it, but they had to settle for 3 points. Kyler Murray, though, off to an excellent start.
6. Behind.
Connor gets the fake. Murray has Green. Makes Cody Barton miss with a nice hezzy and takes it into Seattle territory.
I like that. Is that a technical term, the hezzy?
The little hesitation action right there by Green. Little plant, get around Barton.
Well, they're really running a 2-man route, and you'll see A.J. Green right here just sit down as they're running Kirk over the top, and that's the juke. You call it the hezzy. I go with the juke.
A late penalty marker was thrown from the far side of the field. It was a 31-yard gain for A.J. Green, but this is going to be negated. We had a late call for a penalty from the far side. It's a 5-yard penalty. Imagine this was probably a procedure penalty. It was a legal shift. And that's what negates another A.J. Green play. His own offensive pass interference and then the illegal shift by Christian Kirk. Murray under pressure, being chased by Robert Condici, and he'll run it and get that penalty yardage back. Cody Barton forced him down, and it'll set up 2nd down and about 9 or 10. Inside of 7 minutes to play, first half. A 14-10 Seattle lead.
Pete not happy. He thought Kendichi got held. Letting the officials know about it too.
Murray underneath once again. And he's got Antoine Wesley, who's had a really nice surge the last couple of weeks. Takes it out to the 34. And it'll set up 3rd down and short.
Great story there. Antoine Wesley played for Cliff Kingsbury at Texas Tech, and he was a guy that got let go, just couldn't stay healthy with the Ravens. Cliff Kingsbury goes to general manager Steve Keim, says, this is a guy that I really want. This is a guy that can really help us. In the last couple of weeks, he's been exceptional. Last 3 weeks, there's Steve Keim, you see right here in the booth. Michael Bidwell there as well.
3rd down and short, and once again, James Conner is able to convert for a 1st down. Cliff Kingsbury was fairly candid. He's like, listen, it was kind of did me a favor in bringing in Antoine Wesley. There's Barton and Conner in the hole for the 1st down.
You know, when you get the opportunity, this is what happens to all of us as players. You get that opportunity, what do you do with it? You know, you look at Bobby Wagner go down. Cody Barton's come in last week. Right now, he is playing great football for the Seahawks.
Fake to Conner. Taylor right in the face of Kyler Murray, who was able to find Greg Dortch. Works his way to the 37-yard line. Dortch, another guy who made his first NFL start last week in Dallas. Had that nice play out of the gate, that 24-yard run. Had a catch as well, the first of his NFL career. A guy who was a practice squad player for the Jets. Just a couple of games for Carolina. Now he's playing a key role with DeAndre Hopkins still on the shelf. The torn MCL against the Rams a few weeks ago. Murray with a flag thrown is going to take off. He'll scramble out near the 42, but we'll check the penalty marker. Likely a holding penalty.
Yeah, that's going to go
Holding.
on.
Offense number 74. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
DJ Humphries, who is back in the lineup. He did not play last week against Dallas.
All right, DJ Humphries mad too. He goes, that's not holding, that's dispensing justice. I'm just tossing guys. I'm tossing guys around. Watch this right here. Just get down. Get off. Yeah, you can't do that. They're going to call that 100% of the time. But it feels real.
I was going to say, you clearly something inside of you was appreciative of it, but you understand the reality of the penalty.
But it feels good when it feels so powerful.
Good message to the kids out there. Bully everybody. It feels great. 2nd and 19. Murray a back foot launch, and it seemed like he and Wesley were not on the same page. Kirk tried to run it down. And you see him kind of yelling at Antoine Wesley there, like, hey, you got to move out to the route that I want.
Like, you get on top of that. Wesley was on top of the DB, meaning, hey, man, we're going to throw this thing deep. And I don't think he's happy about the Carlos Dunlop pulling him down either. But that was, as you mentioned, a miscommunication, because if the DB stays on top when you're one-on-one out there, if he stays on top, meaning on top of
an incomplete pass, 3rd down.
Meaning on top, like he's got that depth over the top of the receiver, now go short. But Wesley beat him up over the top. He had that space. So once you stack him, call it stacking him. Once you're on top of that DB, well, I'm chucking this thing deep for you. And miscommunication between receiver and quarterback there.
But 3rd down and long. See Barton at the controls for the Seattle defense. Play clock was winding all the way down. Delay of game.
Offense. Number 1, 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So now it's going to be 3rd and a quarter of the field for Kingsbury. He's got to look deeper and deeper into that play call sheet.
Yeah, this is where you either hand off a draw or you get a shallow cross. You just dump it off on a 4-yard play. Let the receiver get as much yardage as you can and then punt. This is where, you know, oftentimes teams just want to mitigate kind of the potential disaster by trying to go after this.
Murray stepping up. He's looking deep downfield. He wants to pick up the first down. Looking for Ertz, and it's incomplete. We're seeing the aggressive tendencies, right? I mean, typical spot like that, it's screen or draw time, but Cliff Kingsbury's staying aggressive.
Yeah, and, you know, it starts with Kyler Murray being able to extend the play. When you can extend the play back there, now you've got a chance to get your receivers deep down the field. You look at Seattle. I mean, they've got so many guys deep in that secondary. Barton, once again, picking up the over route and forced to punt.
Andy Lee drills one in traffic, and Freddie Swain with the fair catch inside the 30. Saw a couple of plays, some frustration from Murray, a little bit of miscommunication at times. See Zach Ertz looking at the officials. He had 2 defenders on him. He thought there should have been a penalty. Believe it or not, they're here next week. I know usually they're this weekend, but with week 18, you push it back a week. And we can't wait for Super Wildcard Weekend. First time ever, by the way, our friends at ABC and ESPN will have a Monday night wildcard game. Got a doubleheader on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, Monday night as well. It's going to be a fantastic weekend. Arizona will be there in the playoffs for the first time in 6 years. You see the Rams have extended the lead on 2 Tyler Higbee touchdown receptions from Matthew Stafford. They're up 17-0 on San Francisco. Steve Keim, Michael Bidwell look on. Really impressive turnaround for Arizona. They've improved each year under Cliff Kingsbury. So far, they're a playoff team once again. There's Rashad Penny. And if Jalen Thompson doesn't make that stop, then Rashad Penny is busting for a long run.
Well, that's this defense. This is a one-gap defense, meaning every guy has got a gap, and you've got to come up there, and because they play so aggressively, you have to make tackles in space, and then you saw it right there with Thompson.
2 drives ending in Tyler Lockett touchdown receptions after the dreadful start to the day. Seattle's bounced back.
Hey,
Ringo meeting sliding protection to the right. That's where Wilson is protected. That's where Wilson's going to throw it. And he's got a completion again to Tyler Lockett inside Arizona territory, a pickup of 22.
Well, this is where Tyler Lockett and Russell Wilson, watch Lockett right here. Watch him stop this route as soon as he sees, look at him spin out. As soon as he sees Russell Wilson in trouble, he finds that, we call that the turkey hole in a cover 2 between the safety and the rolled up corner.
Good run by Rashad Penny inside the 45-yard line. So that seems like the connectivity that somebody like Lockett has with Wilson. I know that Wilson sees the same thing that Tyler Lockett sees.
Right, but I think the thing that probably goes unnoticed is Tyler Lockett recognizes the coverage. So he understands where the hole in that coverage is for Russell Wilson.
Another strong run by Penny, tackled by Isaiah Simmons. It's a first down at the Arizona 34-yard line.
It's so good to see Rashad Penny actually get going here with all the injuries he's had over the course of his career. Physically, just helping dominate the line of scrimmage for the Seahawks.
It's part of this run. Seahawks up 4. Question is, will the Cardinals be home for the playoffs next week? There's an opportunity to win the NFC West and host next week. Otherwise, they will likely end up going to Dallas. They could play at Los Angeles, they could play at Tampa Bay, they could play at Dallas. The most likely scenario for Arizona, the most permutations lead to AT&T Stadium, where they just won last week, and of course, well known now, Kyler Murray 8-0 between high school, college, and the NFL in that building in his home state.
Hey, Saturday.
Fresh set of downs for Russell Wilson, and off target. You saw Metcalf trying to work through a lot of congestion on that left side. Second down coming up.
They're trying to sped up a little bubble screen right there, and the perfect defense called. You're in a rolled up corner situation.
That takes away that passing lane essentially.
Hey, let's go.
Right.
Flip around. Go. Flip around. Mickey. Cross Mickey. Box. You got one. Cross Mickey. Box.
And off for Penny. You talked about it, Stink. This is why Seattle wanted to get up to the line fast so they could take all that time to try to diagnose what Arizona's defense is doing.
Yeah, and to make the proper call. If you see two high safeties, do we want to run it? Single high safety, are we going to throw it? It just gives you that time to make those calls.
Timeout, Cardinals. Cliff Kingsbury had not had a winning season as a head coach since 2015 at Texas Tech, when he had Patrick Mahomes at the controls. A phenomenal year for Arizona, albeit with some stumbles down the stretch, but an 11-5 campaign. Third down and 6 for Seattle. Vance Joseph's defense lining it up against Shane Waldron and the Seattle offense.
See if they can dial up a pressure.
They blitz as much as any team in the NFL. Their top 4 in blitz rate. It's only gone higher in the second half of the year. Just a 4-man rush again. Wilson, though, has a wide-open DK Metcalf for the first down. Into the red zone at the 18. We'll check the penalty marker on the near side of the field. This may go against Seattle, though.
Pass interference, offense number 81. 10-yard penalty, third down.
Well, you're wondering why DK Metcalf is so wide open. It might have had to do with Gerald Everett.
Well, right here, Gerald Everett coming on the shallow cross. See him against. Boy, I tell you what, that's Hamilton gets picked off. Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah, that initial coverage was fine. It was when he tried to blow up Antonio Hamilton where the penalty was called.
Once you establish your position, you just got to stand there and make the other people kind of loop around. You can't stick a chicken wing out there. Or
it's like a moving screen in the NBA. You can't move around. You just got to stand in your spot. Third and 16. Again, they show pressure. They bring 5. And here's Tyler Lockett getting to the sticks. On third and long, Russell Wilson finds Tyler Lockett once more.
Well, once you're coming off this edge down here, watch Tyler Lockett. As soon as he sees it, he just whips out to the outside. He knows that Chandler Jones is out there in the flat. He's not going to cover Tyler Lockett, and that's like stealing. It's too easy.
That's 2 times now we pointed it out for Tyler Lockett. Great recognition of coverage and blitz to be able to get to an open spot. Here is Travis Homer. Nice job by the Arizona defenders to stretch him to the sideline. Hamilton and Thompson team up for the stop at the 21 on a gain of 3.
I love the safeties, the nickel backs of the Arizona Cardinals. Fearless. They just play with speed, athleticism, but most of all fearlessness. Thompson there on the tackle. They just play with this kind of blatant disregard for their own well-being. They will fly around and hit you.
Wilson for Metcalf trying to slickly put up that one hand. He was out of bounds pretty much anyway. Still would have been a cool catch. Third down at 6 coming up.
Just a little bit late with that football right there. DK down on the bottom. That's Hamilton. You see him just kind of hold. Try to keep those feet in. See if he can get the one-hand stab. But the awareness, I mean, knowing exactly where you are on the field. He knew how close he was to that sideline. He knew that was his only chance of making a play on the ball.
Wilson lobs it up there for Everett, and he could not haul it in. I don't think you could have touched that ball up there under pressure as well as Wilson just did, and Everett could not corral it.
Well, it was just the release right off the bat. Watch the hands of Hamilton. He's going to miss with the hands. Gone right now. That's a touchdown. Oh, beat him up, ball. That's a touchdown. You can't execute it any better than that. It's all about the release. You get the release. Beautiful. Russell Wilson recognizes it, throws a dime piece, ball on the ground.
So they'll have to settle for a 38-yard Jason Myers field goal try. He's now made 8 of his last 9 attempts. That extends the lead to a touchdown at 17-10. But a drop by Gerald Everett, who's had a career season. This is 5th year in the NFL, but he missed out on touchdown number 5. Kurt and Terry are having a good time. I think the Seahawks are enjoying this game so far today, too. And Tyler Lockett, Russell Wilson, 2 of the veterans, keeping this group at that same level of energy that we talked about that was important for a team that doesn't have, quote-unquote, anything to play for.
Well, but it's important how you finish, how you play, how you come out there, how you set yourself up for next season. And I understand, I mean, I'm not going to hand out certificates of participation or anything like that, but, man, it is important to have that energy to play that way. And obviously, Pete Carroll's got these guys ready to roll.
Another touchback launched by Jason Myers. Here's the comparison so far. Again, Arizona got the early lead just 3 plays into the game with that strip sack by Chandler Jones and the fumble recovery for a touchdown by Allen. But since then, Seattle has bounced back nicely, scoring 17 of the last 20 points. The Rams and 49ers have just gotten going in the second half. 17-3 the score in Los Angeles. And again, Cliff Kingsbury and company will go in at halftime. They'll see that score, maybe make a decision on how you approach the second half. And Kyler Murray goes down. It's Darrell Taylor, who has continued to play well off the edge, along with Dunlap.
Yeah, and they're just going to run a little game right here off of this. So out, come back around there, loop. You see Taylor put his foot in the ground, and you see that play. Green makes that play, tying up both the left guard and the left tackle.
Murray, a lot of moving in the pocket, but he's able to fire one over the middle for Christian Kirk. Right back near the 25-yard line. 3rd down and long coming up. Timeouts for both teams.
Second charge timeout, Seattle, 30 seconds.
The Seahawks will use one here to try to conserve some time. We're back after this from Bank of America. 3rd and long coming up. You see the clock is at 48 seconds. Added a couple of seconds for the game clock. Seattle looking for a stop and get the ball back potentially. Arizona will get the ball to start the second. Murray past the sticks. He's got Zach Ertz. Nice reaching grab at the 38. And a second timeout used by Arizona to stop the clock with 43 seconds left.
And one of the things that Zach Ertz has been able to do is exploit the middle of the football field right here, one-on-one, but really tie up the middle of the football field so you get those one-on-ones on the outside as well. And just coming back, working back to Kyler Murray, his quarterback, adjusting on the ball that comes a little bit outside on him. But again, getting those things tied up in the middle of the football field to get the one-on-ones on the outside.
Zach Ertz has looked at Seattle as a nemesis for a long time. All those games with Philadelphia, the playoff games, just couldn't get a victory. He had 2 touchdowns in the win against Seattle in Week 11 in his first Cardinals-Seahawk matchup. 7 back in coverage for Seattle. That 4-man rush still gets to Kyler Murray, and it's Carlos Dunlap. Team leading 7.5 sacks this season for Dunlap.
Well, you get one-on-ones for Dunlap when you've got edge presence on the outside. There's Dunlap. But this edge presence is really what creates it because you're sliding out that way. So now Dunlap's getting the one-on-one on Humphreys, and you see him just power back there to the quarterback, get that sack.
He's dealing with that ankle injury, but he practiced on Friday and felt good enough to go. And the Cardinals are just going to eat it and call it a half. They'll get the ball to start the second half. Cliff Kingsbury doesn't want anything else to go down. We'll see what the second half plays out as for Kingsbury in particular and the Cardinals with the Rams 49ers score. First half stats brought to us by State Farm. 229-89, an impressive performance through one half by Seattle, trying to close the season strong. Cardinals had a shot at the NFC West. You know they're going to the playoffs next week. Second half coming up, Cardinals will have the football. For now, it is time for the Verizon halftime with Kurt and company. Under pressure, lost the football, scooped up the other way by Zach Allen, and the Cardinals on fire on defense to start the game. Tyler Lockett got loose. And Tyler Lockett will take it in. Wilson rolling right. And he's able to complete it to Lockett again. Today's game flow brought to us by Progressive. Just as we saw in the meeting last year in this building, Tyler Lockett heavily involved for Seattle, which really picked things up after that initial misfire on the opening drive. Played much better football, and they just felt engaged for those first 30 minutes. Arizona still with plenty to play for, especially with San Francisco making a little bit of a surge against Los Angeles. They'll get the ball to start the second half. Greg Dortch back to return. All-American return man at Wake Forest. And Jason Myers will avoid him with a little pooch kick. And that's grabbed by Darrell Daniels. He's knocked down shy of the 25-yard line. Inside the broadcast booth, Adam Amin, Mark Schlereth, Shannon Spake on the field in a moment. So Seattle played a very good 30 minutes of football. They're trying to close this season strong. We've told you all about that. Let's lock in on Arizona, because with San Francisco staying in the game against LA, still a lot to play for, and you want to go into the playoffs with a good feeling. They want to clean things up here in the second half.
Well, what do they talk about? They talk about self-inflicted wounds, right? We can't have those. You've got two big plays to A.J. Green. Both penalties, taking those two big plays back. They've got to get back to doing what they do right here. Run the football and throw it down the football field.
They do it with Connor there, but a penalty marker is thrown.
Holding. Offense number 74. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Another miscue there. Down to Shannon Spake for more.
Asking Cliff Kingsbury about how many times we've seen Kyler Murray get out of the pocket, what he wants to see from his guys offensively, and he said, listen, we just got to settle down. We have to get in a rhythm, and third down is going to be so key. For this Seattle team, it does not look like a team who knows that they are not playing next weekend. High energy over here on the sideline. Pete Carroll very happy with what he's seen. Said, I want to see these guys run the ball more. Did ask him about Cody Barton, of course, filling in for Bobby Wagner. Said he is doing great.
10 tackles in the first half for Barton, and 7 more from Jordan Brooks. Really good stuff filling in for Wagner today, the second leading tackler in the league. Murray to Wesley, moved around Barton that time. Josh Jones and Carlos Dunlap will team up for the tackle. They'll spot it at the 22-yard line.
Well, you get the penalty yardage back, right? Now you throw it again underneath, or you're running underneath. You put yourself in a third down and manageable situation, and that's what Arizona needs to do. Start stacking plays together. Remember, they had that 119-play drive. Unfortunately for them, it ended in 3 points. You've got to put drives together. You've got to stack plays together.
Murray dumps it off for Connor. James Conner going to stiff arm his way for more yardage. Into Jordan Brooks. They'll pick up about 8 on the play. Third down and short coming up.
Boy, Connor can bring this now. And look at, I mean, you get the stiff arm right to the face. You just hog tie that thing. Mutton busting right there by Brooks. And he's been so good. Just so physical, so fast.
Yeah, I like Connor against these linebackers. This is a fun physical matchup anytime James Conner handles the ball. Just a 3-man rush. Murray, deep shot. Christian Kirk's got it. He's going to be ruled down at the 35-yard line. That looked like a play we saw against Dallas last week in stride.
By contact, first down.
35-yard connection to Kirk.
What a throw that was by Kyler Murray, because you've got Brooks right down here. He's got to get the over in that 3-by-1 formation, so he sees it. He runs with it, but look at the pinpoint accuracy. I mean, I'm telling you what, you can't run down there and put it in the hands of Christian Kirk any better. Great coverage, just a better throw.
35-yard connection to the 35. Screen for Ertz. He's able to get away from that surge of defenders. DJ Humphries kind of missed his block, and Ertz was still able to move to the outside and pick up 19 yards.
I think DJ Humphries did it on purpose because he didn't want to get an illegal crack back block. So he just basically gave up on that. And Ertz, look at Ertz making that play, making people miss, getting down the sideline for another big first down.
Back-to-back plays, and just like that, they're on the doorstep of the red zone. Connor. Ertz trying to block. And Rasheem Green and the rest of the Seahawks team up to stop him at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play.
Let's draw.
Short to Connor, slips away from Brooks, hurdles his way, and he is in for the touchdown! Two tackles slipped against two good tacklers. Brooks and Diggs each had a shot. Connor scores it anyway.
Kyler Murray recognizing the one-on-one coverage. It's out there to Connor, gets it to him, and on time, recognizing the coverage, recognizing he's one-on-one with Brooks. James Conner doing the rest.
Well, he has been in the end zone a whole lot this year. 14 on the ground and 3 through the air for James Conner. And how about this? Rams and 49ers tied at 17 in the third quarter. Seahawks and Cardinals tied at 17 in the third quarter. Still plenty to play for in this historic Week 18, the first of its kind, the final week of the year. Murray's recognition on that last touchdown.
Well, you know exactly for Kyler Murray where it is. I've got the one-on-one right here against the linebacker. My back versus Brooks. They run the little quick out, catch it, break a tackle, and you're down for the touchdown. But it's just your recognition, understanding where the best matchup is for you to convert.
We've already talked about James Conner's physicality and how he's not afraid to go up against a linebacker who's a good tackler. Conner used his power to slip 2 tackles and score another touchdown. And Kyler Murray on that drive was excellent. 5 of 5 for 86 yards. Now Russell Wilson will have a chance to counter.
That's how you come out of halftime and respond when you haven't played efficiently on the offensive side of the ball in the first half.
Things are getting interesting. Carissa Thompson, a game break with you.
Thank you, Adam. Niners trailed by as much as 17. Jimmy Garoppolo hands it off to Deebo Samuel, who throws it to Juwan Jennings for this 24-yard score. We are all tied up at 17.
Boy, Deebo Samuel, he's got to run for a touchdown today. Now he's got to toss for a touchdown. And we've got 17s across the board in the third quarter. And that game's at a little bit of a quicker pace, so there's going to be something known when that game is over. That will, I think, affect how the final maybe 10 minutes of our game ends up going. San Francisco trying to make a push. They win and they're into the playoffs as the number 6 seed. Penny trying to navigate. Thompson chasing him down and grabbing him and preventing him from getting any further than those 2.5 yards.
One thing I love about Penny, since he's taken over as the running back for Seattle, his ability to just get down the football field. You see Adrian Peterson right there, and one of the things he has brought to this organization, as soon as he touched the ball the first time in practice, his effort, the speed with which he plays, the effort that which he gives, it's like changed the way Penny has looked at the game as well. He can learn so much from a guy like that who's the consummate professional.
Peterson played 1 game and scored a touchdown. He's on the practice squad for Seattle right now still. Wilson looking for Metcalf in a tight window. Incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd down. Excellent coverage on the back end by Arizona and Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson really recognizing exactly what they're trying to run. Watch him run this route for DJ Metcalf. A little hand fighting right there, but he sees what's coming. He adjusts to it. He never turns his head, but he has that feel for the receiver the whole time, understanding you're getting that through or that over route by DK Metcalf out of that formation.
3rd and long. Pressure. Wilson navigating around it. Wayward throw is intercepted. It's Thompson again. Out of bounds inside the 5-yard line.
Thompson just reading the pressure. He's a hook defender right here, but watch him come off his coverage responsibility once Russell Wilson's in trouble. Here he is. Now he's going to just play that way. Overthrow by Homer, and bam, down the sideline.
Gerald Everett was the man that was kind of coming into Thompson's area, so usually he would go with him. Instead, he read what Wilson was looking at.
Once he saw the pressure, he saw Wilson's eyes, he saw the outlet by Homer, and that's when he just adjusted his coverage. Johnny on the spot, Jalen Thompson putting them in position to score.
And how about the Cardinals, who have struggled getting takeaways in this building for whatever reason, a myriad reasons. 2 big takeaways today. The first one, the scoop and score, and now this one setting them up at 1st and goal.
How about the energy, right? You come out of at halftime, out of the locker room, you put an offensive drive together for 7, and it just energizes your team, that complementary nature. Now, Vance Joseph's defense, right there, you see the defensive coordinator, they make a play. The excitement, the energy that you bring coming out of that locker room, really nice adjustment by the Arizona Cardinals, who were frankly flat in that first half.
Much better response here in the second half. They wanted to spot the ball correctly. They had it at the 5 initially, but now they have spotted it just shy of the 4-yard line. 1st down and goal. I want to make sure they're ready for play as well.
After discussion, the runner was out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
Even
1st and goal.
closer to the goal line after the adjustment. Let's look. Still in bounds. I thought that heel actually may have gone out. Almost back at the 9-yard line. That's a fairly generous spot either way. It ended up being even more generous after discussion. Tough to tell for sure, though. Here is Connor. Excellent penetration. And Robert Kimdichie, who was drafted in the 1st round by Arizona in 2016, now playing with Seattle up front with all their injuries. He makes the stop.
What you want? Single? Single. You want B? Hey, B. Hey.
Connor just powering in. Cardinals take advantage of the takeaway with a touchdown from Connor. Arizona's responded to take the lead.
This is just wedge football. Where can we get double teams? Come off the ball, tight ends in there, bodies all over the place. James Conner, touchdown. And that's something that Arizona needs to do a better job of for me. In the red zone, being a little bit more physical, committing to running the ball. You saw it right there. 2 rushing attempts by Conner, 1 touchdown.
All set up by that Thompson takeaway. 13 of the 23 points so far have come off takeaways for Arizona. What a season for James Conner. Somebody's going to pay that man a lot of money to play football next season. Could be Arizona, could be anybody. taking advantage of those takeaways. This time, Jalen Thompson, his third pick of the season, setting up for the physical Connor run and a score. Cardinals lead. But in pregame with Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson, sharing some love and respect for one another. These two have been compared to one another. Obviously, Murray coming after Russell Wilson. The size, very similar compared to the average starting quarterback in the NFL. You look at their baseball backgrounds, both of them draft picks. Kyler Murray with that big signing bonus opted to go to football, and it's worked out well for him. Russell Wilson talked to us about being at Salt River Fields, just outside of Scottsdale for spring training.
Hey, forget about working out well for him. It's worked out well for us because we've got to see this guy who's a remarkable player. Both of these guys, remarkable people, remarkable individuals, and great quarterbacks.
This is going to be fun. And again, there's a lot of discussion about Wilson, whether this is or isn't his last game with Seattle. He's got the kind of control of that. He's got the no trade clause. He's still under contract for at least one more season. Right now, they'll get the ball back, down 7 against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Fox Super 6 with another free chance to win $100K of Terry Bradshaw's money. Just scan the QR code and enter the wild card contest this week for your chance at the wild card jackpot. The Super 6 app you can play for free. Roof open today. Beautiful weekend here in Glendale, Arizona. So with some warm weather outside, they decided to keep the roof open for this contest. The 25, a handoff for Penny. Burrows ahead into Allen for a few yards. Rams and 49ers have just got going in the fourth quarter in Los Angeles. They're tied at 17. If the Rams win, they win the NFC West. If the Rams lose and the Cardinals win, the Cardinals win the NFC West. Penny, the cutback, and a good play by Devon Kennard, who's back in the lineup today. Had he not made that stop, Penny's probably busting for a first down.
Yeah, and Penny does a great job of cutting back, but look at Kennard, shed right here and being able to fall back inside. Beat Brown right there, the outstanding left tackle, to make that big-time play.
Just a three-man rush. Wilson scrambles away, and he's got the first down to Gerald Everett. Brought down by Jordan Hicks. Out near midfield. And another third down conversion for Wilson and one of his receivers. They pick up 20.
Isn't that the beauty of both of these quarterbacks? These guys are both just exceptional quarterbacks. Just really, you talk about skillful, but then they happen to be great athletes. They're not athletes that were converted into quarterbacks. They're quarterbacks that both happen to be exceptional athletes. When you can extend the play like that, big things can happen for your offense.
DJ Dallas in the backfield on this first down play. There he is. He was wrapped up by Michael Dogby. Dogby taking the spot of the injured Jordan Phillips, who's out for a third straight game dealing with a knee issue. Dogby, the third-year man out of Temple, makes the stop.
And this is what Pete loves. Pete Carroll, even though that wasn't a real successful run, you get a yard, you get 2 yards, you're making the defense defend that play. You're wearing them down. Now all of a sudden you come back with the boot keep game, you come back with your play action game, you've tired them out a little bit, and you've created opportunities behind the linebacker core.
Rashad Penny, not a lot of space there. Marcus Golden and Chandler Jones filling up that hole very quickly. Third down and long coming up for Seattle.
Well, I tell you what, all about just right here, creating a new line of scrimmage on that defensive line. You see Chandler Jones on the edge right there, really holding the point, forcing that ball back inside. And Chandler Jones is one of those guys, skinny, kind of slidey, 6'5", but he plays like Charles Haley to me. I mean, he's so physically gifted, You think of him a great pass rusher, but he is really good at defending the run as well.
Cardinals bring some pressure. Wilson launches into one-on-one coverage. It is DK Metcalf who hauled it in, but he was out of bounds. That's the second time we've seen that with Antonio Hamilton using the sideline as the extra defender. It's 4th down.
Well, they always talk about staying in phase. First, it's the pressure. Russell Wilson under duress. You see Hicks get the big hit there, but look at the body presence of Hamilton. Now reaching up between those two hands and eventually pulling that ball out. DK Metcalf. Looks like a landscaper right there.
Helmet and face full of grass. Christian Kirk will bail out, and it's down for Seattle by Nigel Warrior. Chandler Jones, he's been good for so long. The 10-year veteran on his way to his 4th Pro Bowl and on the way to the playoffs. Former home of the Rams. The current home of the Rams is SoFi Stadium, where they're taking on the 49ers. That game's still tied at 17 in the 4th. Here, Arizona's defense gets a stop after they took the lead on offense, and now they get the ball back. Remember that Gerald Everett drop of the touchdown, which could have helped make it 21-10. Instead, Seattle had to settle for a field goal to go up 17-10. 14-0 Arizona since to take a 7-point lead. The play looming a little larger now here as we get into the second half of the 3rd quarter. James Conner, questionable coming in, but has been anything but in this game today. They've leaned on him heavily, his 12th carry, and he takes it for 9 yards.
Little pin pull play. Get behind your guard. Separate the defense in the C gap. Behind Garcia there and Jones.
Josh Jones in at right tackle for Kelvin Beachum. He's dealing with a back issue. That's the side that Conner runs to again for no gain. It's Cody Barton on the stop. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and short. Big day for Cody Barton.
Yeah, Cody Barton said, "You fooled me once on that last play, or the first play, with that that little power play, pulling the guard. You're not going to get me again."
11 tackles, and this is first career middle linebacker start for Pete Carroll. 3rd-year man out of Utah, was the 3rd-round pick in 2019. Murray. Well, Sidney Jones was locked up with A.J. Green in a physical battle on the outside. Incomplete, 4th and short, and the punting unit coming on for Arizona. Murray a little frustrated after that. Second time that Arizona's offense has gone 3 and out all day. So Andy Lee will punt it away. Freddie Swain back to return. From the 31, Swain. It's wrapped up by the long snapper Aaron Brewer. And a penalty marker is thrown on the play.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 34, 10-yard penalty, 1st down, timeout.
Josh Johnson's penalty will set Seattle back a little further. Lockett and Jones and Metcalf and Kirk. Of course, the 2 headmen. A little bit of a frustrating afternoon at times for Kyler Murray, and kind of boiled over on the sideline after that last series. And trying to get into rhythm. We've talked about this with a team like Arizona, whether they have something to play for or not. And by the way, right now they absolutely do. With San Francisco locked up with LA, they still have a shot with the Cardinals at the NFC West title. Want to go in with some momentum into the postseason. They still have the lead. Russell Wilson's got the ball. And now DK Metcalf has it. And he works for 9 yards. Antonio Hamilton on the stop.
How about DK Metcalf? Can you imagine being a DB? DK Metcalf out there, you throw a little smoke screen out there. He's 6'4", about 235, and you're like, all right, that's like trying to tackle an offensive lineman, for crying out loud. I mean, he's that big. Only, you know, he's
and he runs a 4.33 40 as well.
Right.
Here's Penny navigating his way to the 44. Stopped by Jordan Hicks.
How about for a big man? I mean, the guy's 235. He's 240. How about the quickness, the jump cut, the ability? And, you know, we talked about it earlier. This guy has been nothing but injured. And it's so, like the Seahawks, Coach Carroll, and the offensive players. We talked to Russ Wilson about it. They're so excited to see him finally get his opportunity because of the injuries. He just hasn't been able to play. And, boy, what we've seen here the last 4 games, he's been impressive.
Press center down, screen to Metcalf. Short gain on the play. Rashad Penny was an absolute star at San Diego State. Bunch of records. One of the all-time great running backs in college football history and FBS history. All-American his final year, was a first-round pick by Seattle. Number 27 pick in 2018. Multiple knee issues. Obviously had the torn ACL a couple of years ago. He had the calf strain this year in week 1 that set them back. But with Chris Carson out, Alex Collins out, Rashad Penny has taken advantage of this final stretch of the season. And he breaks free here. Rashad Penny and Budda Baker, very quick defensive back, had to chase him down. That's a 30-yard Rashad Penny run. It's one of the longer runs that Arizona has given up this year.
Well, watch Rashad Penny because he's going to get in this hole, and once you expose somebody in a hole, look at, you're going to see Thompson come in here, but that quickness, that little bit of a jump cut at 235, then to be able to have the speed to break it out to the outside, and Budda Baker saving that as that's an automatic touchdown if Budda Baker doesn't get all the way across the football field to make that tackle.
Double stacks for receivers on both sides for Wilson. And a breakout, wide open, Freddie Swain is in for the touchdown. We talked about it, that interesting set, double stacks wide for Wilson.
Yeah, well, Hamilton, you're going to see him carry the inside receiver. He's going down the inside, and you get basically double team down there. Isaiah Simmons, he's down there in there. You've got Hamilton in there, and Swain just right down the sideline. Nobody covers him. Obviously a miscommunication and a busted coverage.
And just like that, we've got a 24-24 game. Another 20-plus yard play for Seattle's offense. It's their 7th of the day against the Cardinal defense. Freddie Swain, and this his 2nd season out of Florida, has been productive. His 4th touchdown reception of the year.
I tell you what, that's the kind of attention that DK Metcalf draws. You have DK Metcalf on an in-cutting route. You get both guys, both Hamilton and Simmons, jumping that in-cutting route on DK Metcalf, and there you see the two right there, just like they lined up, stacked formation. Everybody goes with Metcalf, and I understand why. There's Freddie Swain right down the sideline for an easy score.
Really nice play design that time for Seattle. And Swain the beneficiary of it. On his first catch of the day, it's good for a game-tying touchdown late in the 3rd. So once again, tie games in the NFC West.
Well, let's just remember your 2 starting corners, and Marco Wilson out, Robert Alford out. Yep. Now you got some backup guys in there, and we've seen a few mistakes being made by the backups from a communication standpoint.
Remember that Kevin Peterson, who's played a lot, he had to leave the game in the first half as he was getting tended to and looked at for a potential concussion. But now Kyler Murray gets another opportunity to respond. He's had a clean day throwing the football, rating over 100. Now he'll get his right tackle back as well. You saw Kelvin Beachum back into the game. He sat out that last series as he was dealing with a back issue, but he's in at right tackle once more. Beachum had to start at left tackle with Humphries out last week. Again, this is only the second time this season that Arizona has been able to start the 5 men on the offensive line that they want to have for a playoff run. Murray trying to buy time, and it's running out. Poona Ford with his second sack of the day. He has 2.5 sacks this year, all of them against Arizona. Double-digit yard loss.
Yeah, Poona Ford. Now, you watch Poona Ford. He's like a fire hydrant rushing the passer right here. I mean, he's just stout, and he just keeps on pushing over Pugh right there. Love Poona Ford. Look at that body. It's the boulder, for crying out loud.
Little Red River rivalry matchup there. Texas sacking Oklahoma. Murray under pressure from Darrell Taylor. Is able to escape and take off. We'll have to slide down. Jordan Brooks makes some contact with Murray. 3rd down and long coming up.
Well, Taylor going to come off this edge right here. You're going to see the initial inside move over Humphries, and that's the beauty of having an athletic quarterback back there. A guy that can keep a play alive, can create something out of nothing. A sure sack becomes a gain for Kyler Murray.
Picks up 8 yards to set up 3rd and 13. Carlos Dunlap working hard, and that opens it up on the backside for Kerry Hyder Jr. His first full sack of the season and the 4th for Seattle. Pete Carroll's defense goes back-to-back to shut down the drive.
Well, it all starts with penetration, driving the football back. Watch him drive this back onto Humphries right there. That's the bull rush. You just drive it back there, and then you loop around. Hyder just feels that. That's not a designed game. He just feels that inside pressure by Dunlap, and he gets the sack.
Oh, misfire. Travis Homer got in on Andy Lee, and then Homer made the play to get the ball loose. It's recovered by Cody Thompson at the 10. A dynamite special team set for Seattle at the end of the 3rd quarter. Boy, Arizona out of sorts at the end of this 3rd quarter. Travis Homer into the backfield, caught up to Lee. Loose ball to Thompson, and Seattle sets up with a 1st down deep inside of Arizona territory to start the 4th. Larry Izzo is the special teams coordinator. He's going to point this play out in a tape session with Travis Homer.
Yeah, and watch Andy Lee. His eyes go over to Homer right here. At the very end, he sees it. See him take his eyes off the football. He's looking at the pass rush right there. Your job is to kick it. You're not supposed to be blocking it. He takes his eyes off of it. He drops the ball, misses the punt, and now Seattle in prime territory to score.
Miscue by Andy Lee, who returned last week after missing the Christmas game against Indianapolis. Cody Thompson, who was called up today for his 5th NFL game. First-year pro out of Toledo, gets the recovery to set up 1st and goal for Seattle. Rams and 49ers tied at 17 with 5 minutes to go in Los Angeles. Seahawks and Cardinals tied at 24 at the start of the 4th.
Changing the play.
He had plenty of time to do it, and it's a check to the run for Penny, who gets hit by Kennard for the backside. Down near the 5-yard line, 2nd and goal. You see the score in the upper left corner of your screen. Jimmy Garoppolo threw a red zone interception, his 2nd pick of the day, taken away by Los Angeles. And it's Rams football inside of 5 to play there. They're inside the San Francisco 10. Seattle's inside the Arizona 10. Play clock winding down. Reset it. Gonna need to use a timeout. So Pete Carroll, I think, is upset because the play clock was winding down, but the official had signaled to the clock operator to reset it.
The play clock was not reset to the proper time.
That's why. So we said the play clock was winding down. So Pete Carroll saw what we saw on our graphic, that the play clock was winding down. They had never properly reset the play clock, so they don't charge Carroll a timeout here. You can kind of read his lips. Oh, you're going to call that after I call the timeout? So they don't take the timeout away there.
You think Pete Carroll? You know, I hear all the time. Well, the game is passing him by. Are you kidding me? You see him coaching on the sideline right there,
and he knows the rules about as well as any NFL coach that we've talked to.
He said this was going to be their Super Bowl. Well, he's coaching it like it's the Super Bowl.
They had one of those in this building a few years back.
Here, the easy means I'm changing the play right now.
It is a check to Penny again. Rashad Penny gets inside the 5. Marcus Golden and Jordan Hicks team up for the stop. That'll bring up 3rd down and goal.
So you're in a 3rd down situation right here, and what are you expecting as defense? You're expecting the play action pass, right? So now you're going to play a little kind of high to low, meaning you're going to be like a little softer. This sometimes is the perfect opportunity to run the ball one more time because you're going to get a little softer defense in these situations.
Wilson gets the snap. Under pressure. Escaping, running, lunging in for the touchdown, and the Seahawks take the lead. Second rushing touchdown of the season. Seattle takes the advantage.
Well, I mean, Russell Wilson, first and foremost, got to hang tight on the edge right there. Chandler Jones versus Brown. And then watch right there, feeling Buda Baker coming in there, bracing yourself for impact, fighting to get over the top. Score that touchdown. Look at Pete Carroll.
You said they're coaching and playing like this is a Super Bowl type of game, like their playoff game to close the year. And almost at the exact same time that Russell Wilson scored, the Rams just took the lead as well. Travis Homer with the pressure to set up 1st and goal, and Wilson showing the mettle, scoring the go-ahead touchdown.
With the 75th pick in the 2012 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Russell Wilson.
The Seahawks are world champs. Wilson toward the end zone. Caught! Seattle's going to the Super Bowl!
112 wins for Russell Wilson between the regular season and the playoffs. So many plays like this, the effort, the extension. He and Pete Carroll, obviously a lot of talk about the cloudiness of their futures, although most of that seems to be in their control. Obviously, Pete Carroll in charge of the personnel, Russell Wilson in charge of his future right now.
They look like they're having a good time there, don't they?
They look to be in, as you said, lockstep. Mix up the kicks here to prevent an easy return. Dortch will have to pick it up, and he's going to get popped by Josh Johnson, the rookie out of Louisiana Monroe, playing his 3rd NFL game.
My goodness, this is why I'm glad I don't play special teams. Right here. Whoo! They at full speed, running down there, fearlessness, and there you see him wrapping up. That's how it gets done. Man, those are big-time 40-yard collisions.
Energy plays, and it feels like those have been in favor of Seattle more than Arizona today. Still obviously a long way to go in this one. And the lead has changed hands multiple times today. Kyler Murray goes back to work from the 21-yard line. Here's Connor. Short gain into Cody Barton and LJ Collier as well. So Cooper Kupp scored the touchdown a moment ago for the Rams from Stafford to take their lead in Los Angeles. They're at the 2-minute warning in LA. And if the Rams win, they win the NFC West. If the Rams lose and the Cardinals win, the Cardinals take the West. Murray under a lot of pressure. Once again, it's Dunlop with another sack. His second of the day. And that's 5 for Seattle on Murray now.
Boy, and Dunlop has done such a great job of really just pressuring, controlling the edge. And as soon as you see that sit down, man, that's where he gets Humphries on his heels, shakes him loose, gets on the inside, and Carlos Dunlop just having a game on fire right now for Seattle.
Seattle has 34 sacks this year. 5 of them have come in this game. Almost a 7th of their sacks have come in one of their 17 games. Here is Connor with a big burst and a good run by James Conner all the way out past the sticks. On 3rd and 18, they pick up the first down. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson with a game break.
Thank you, Adam. You mentioned the Rams score. Here's how it happened. 3rd and goal. Stafford to who else? Cooper Kupp. 4-yard touchdown. Rams back in front, 24-17.
Another 100-yard day for Cooper Kupp. Connor with an excellent play to get the first down, but you saw him shake it up after the play.
Well, first off, yeah, I mean, you got to understand, in these situations, you get all pass rush. You got to play the run a little bit, but as he's fighting, oof.
DJ Reed.
Right to the ribs.
That was a hard shot on a physical runner in Connor. He's being tended to. We'll step aside. That hard hit from DJ Reed on James Conner. He's going into the medical tent a moment ago after this hard shot right into the side. Again, no Chase Edmonds today as he deals with rib and toe issues. Connor was questionable with the heel injury today coming in. Because the Rams and 49ers game has been pretty close for most of the day, Cliff Kingsbury is essentially in a spot where he has to play on schedule with his normal team. Now, the Rams have just gotten the ball back inside of 2 minutes against San Francisco. Niners had to use a timeout. They still have 2 left. But if that game goes final, and if the Rams finish that game off, and there's still, 10 minutes, 9 minutes left in this, somebody's going to tell Cliff Kingsbury, and that's probably when you're going to see some of the subs come in. Eno Benjamin is in the game right now at running back. You saw Jonathan Ward kind of going towards the tunnel as well. So it's up to Eno, the former Sun Devil, who gets a yard on that play. You see Connor grimacing as he exited the medical tent. He's going to head back towards the locker room, it looks like.
Seattle really winning the battle up front, running games on the run game, little run stunts. Poona Ford making another tackle. He's been all over the place.
Big day for Poona Ford. The Poona Hive is alive today. Murray throws deep down the field, and he's got his tight end in Zach Ertz into Seattle territory, a 19-yard gain.
Look at Ertz just getting big. Find yourself a soft spot if you're the tight end. Give your quarterback the numbers. See, once he gets by that underneath coverage, look him sit down, show the numbers, the hands. Present a friendly target for your quarterback.
Off the play action. Here is Benjamin, slips a tackle, and then Jordan Brooks runs him down near the line to gain.
This is one of the questions I had, right? Is Benjamin a guy that understands the passing game? He hasn't had a lot of work, obviously, as a running back getting opportunities, but catches the ball out of the backfield there, makes a nifty move, gets a first down.
It's only his 3rd career NFL catch. Played only 9 snaps last week. He was inactive the previous 2 games before that. 1:27 to go in Los Angeles. The Niners have just got the ball back. They had to burn all their timeouts, but they now have the football down 7. And off for Eno Benjamin, and he gets tripped up shy of the 30, down to Shannon Spate.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to keep doing that at least for a while. You got Jonathan Ward, of course, he went to the locker room with a knee injury, questionable. James Conner, ribs, questionable. We also have a player down, guys.
Looks to be Quandre Diggs. I didn't get a clean look at it, but when you look at the response of all the players who are all taking their helmets off and taking a knee, that looked to be fairly serious for Diggs. We will not show you what happened to Quandre Diggs, but based on the reactions that you see from his teammates and from the Cardinals as well, a fairly severe injury for Quandre Diggs, who has the air cast on and is going to be carted off. Your heart absolutely breaks for Quandre Diggs, who was on his way to his second straight Pro Bowl. He was scheduled to go into free agency after this season, has had a dynamite year and a severe injury. Based on his reaction, the air cast, his teammates' reactions, the Arizona players' reactions to it. Very emotional and deflating moment in this building. And we only hope the best for Quandre Diggs. After all of that, you get back to the game. San Francisco has tied the game inside of a half a minute in Los Angeles, 24 apiece. Garoppolo found Jawan Jennings for his second touchdown of the day. Here comes Kyler Murray, a first down, as he slides inside the red zone, running into Jordan Brooks, an 11-yard gain.
Well, I think number one, you look at this, you see that pressure coming off the edge right there. Kyler Murray recognizes it, runs a little quarterback draw. You see it, nothing but wide open space in the middle for the first down.
Murray over the middle, and he's got Zach Ertz again. Barton and Jones both collided on Zach Ertz in the middle of the field. Good gain.
Put it right in the middle of the football field between the two hook defenders right there. Zach Ertz finds some space.
Talked about it all day. That's what he does for Kyler Murray, a safety blanket in the middle of the field.
Really ties up that underneath middle of the field coverage. Gives you an opportunity to throw it over the top.
There's Benjamin. He squeezes through for the first down. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson. Game break.
Ooh, got a good one.
It could go to overtime to not only decide the NFC West, but decide a playoff spot for San Francisco. You see James Conner, who had to leave earlier on this series, having a conversation on the sideline. That's why Benjamin is in the game right now. First and goal with 7 minutes to play. And Benjamin tripped up. Excellent penetration by Kimdichie. And then Brooks and Barton able to finish it off.
Well, it was Brooks. Watch him come off the edge right here and attack the pulling guard, and then his ability to bounce back outside and get Benjamin on the ground. As you mentioned, Kimdichie getting penetration, but that's how you take on a pulling guard. They always say, go trap the trapper, go shut that thing down, and then bounce off the top. Man, that is just so good, so physical. You won the physical battle in the backfield.
12th play of this drive is a second and goal. Murray launches into one-on-one coverage. The timing of that play was messed up by the jam of DJ Reed on Christian Kirk.
Yeah, DJ Reed you're trying to run a double move. It's called a sluggo, slant and go. You're going to come in and then get back out here. Watch him come in right there. DJ Reed says, nuh-uh. I'm going to use the hands. Going to jam you up about right at 5 yards. Yeah, go ahead and celebrate. That's a great play. That's playing flat-footed, understanding what you're trying to take away, that slant, and then reacting to that deep over-the-top play.
Third and goal from the 12. Murray, that's batted down. Pressure right in his face from Darrell Taylor.
boy, these defensive ends have done such a good job of just running these tight hoops. Watch him turn back inside and push the tackle right into the face of the quarterback, then elevate, get your hands up there. But they've really done a great job of essentially constricting the pocket, collapsing the pocket around Kyler Murray, not letting him escape on the outside.
So now Arizona will have to settle for a field goal try from Matt Prater, who made from 41 earlier. This from 30. Wide snap handled well by Andy Lee, and Prater bangs it through. So Arizona is within 4. Rams and Niners are going into overtime. 24 apiece at SoFi Stadium right now. Still a ton to play for. We still don't know what the seeding is going to be, who's going to be matched up with who, because these games in Week 18 going right down to the wire. But it's Super Wild Card Weekend next weekend. Saturday with 2, Sunday with 3, and then for the first time ever a Monday night wild card game. That is all coming up next weekend. And this is still very unclear as of right now. The Saints did their job today. They're up by 17 points at the 2-minute warning in Atlanta, so they've done their job. But the Saints can make the playoffs with a victory and a Rams victory. If the 49ers win that game, it affects not only the Arizona Cardinals, but it affects New Orleans as well. It would knock them out of the playoff picture.
Well, you know what I'd like to say? Wake me up when the games are over and let me know who's playing next week.
I mean, I would think that you got enough energy for at least this last 6-14.
No, that I have plenty of energy for, but
Prater kicks away, and he has been excellent with the kickoffs. Another touchback. At a 4-point game. So J.J. Watt, as we've discussed, was activated off injured reserve. Remember, he had that shoulder injury week 7, the labrum issue. But activating him this week opens up his 21-day practice window, and that means he'll have an opportunity to play in the playoffs whenever he feels ready.
I think he's listening to you right there. You see him?
He's like, yeah, I am going to do that. Obviously a big day for T.J. Watt, who tied the all-time single-season sack record. So no J.J. Watt right now. DeAndre Hopkins had the torn MCL on that Monday night game in Week 14 against L.A. Potentially could come back for maybe the divisional round. That would be right at the cusp of his assumed recovery time. It'd be about 6 weeks. Wilson of the Seahawks up by 4, and a completion to Tyler Lockett for 11 yards and a first down to Shannon Spade.
Had a chance to catch up with J.J. Watt today before the game. He told me that he did some drills with the O-line this past week, but he's shooting to return to practice this week. Of course, Cardinal fans will love to hear that. He said his recovery is credited to a great surgeon, a lot of hard work, and a certain level of crazy to push so hard. But his biggest motivation, this team, guys, and the potential that they have to make it in this playoffs this season.
We talked with Vance Joseph about it. He knows the impact emotionally that Watt can have. His defense needs a stop. Rams and 49ers about to start overtime. Here is Penny with a short gain. Second down. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. Still the 2-minute warning to come here in quarter number 4.
Tell me, J.J. Watt doesn't love football. What he's gone through, the injuries he's gone through, to be able to come back and potentially have the opportunity to play. And it's not only hard work and a little bit of crazy, a little bit of stupid mixed in there too. You know, I'm part of that. I'm part of that world. You just got to be a little bit crazy stupid.
It rang a chord with you,
right.
It seems like. But 5 minutes to go in the desert. 4-point game. Penny has the hole, and he breaks free. Rashad Penny with a house call. 62-yard strike. The longest run of Penny's career comes in the best stretch of his career. Seattle's up 10 with 4.5 to go.
How about the cut back by Rashard Penny? You're going to come right back here. You don't get enough squeeze on that back end, and the rest is history. You're 235 pounds, but you can pick him up and put him down, outrun defensive backs. Man, Rashard Penny has had a great run these last 4 or 5 weeks.
It's an 11-point game. Still a 2-possession game, but a 11-point lead now for Seattle. Third touchdown for Seattle of more than 25 yards, and that one was an explosive run by the fourth-year man out of San Diego State.
Look at all the guys celebrating Rashard Penny. This is what I love about football. When you celebrate somebody else's success like it's your own success, oh, it's just awesome.
Shannon, talk to me a little bit more about Rashard Penny.
How many times when we asked about Rashard Penny did we hear the name Adrian Peterson? Every single time, coaches and players, he's been such a huge impact on Rashard Penny and the way he's done things. Penny told me it's not just watching Adrian Peterson, the way he works, the way he practices. He said watching the way he watches film, the way he takes notes, every single thing that he did. I talked to Adrian Peterson before the game. He said he loves being in this role, giving back to some of the young guys after he's accomplished so much. Here's his secret, guys. You get what you put in. That's what Adrian Peterson told me. Pretty simple, right? You get what you put in.
Pretty good life advice. But Rashard Penny, who had his option declined for his 5th year, is going to be a free agent at the end of this game. What he's done, in particular the last 2 weeks, going back really 5 weeks, but these last 2, 170 plus in back-to-back games. This is now 4 times he's rushed for 100 yards in the last 5 games. He had done it twice in the first 32 games of his career. What a surge for Penny.
And you should not be that big and have that kind of speed, that kind of breakaway speed. That is just rare.
Now Kyler Murray, does he have a comeback in him? Looking for A.J. Green, and it's broken up by Sidney Jones, the 4th. 2nd down and 10 with 4.5 to go. 49ers have the football in overtime in Los Angeles right now.
Yep, just another miscue. We talked about playing tight. We talked about Arizona not taking care of advantages. We talked about them making critical mistakes. There's a drop right there by A.J. Green. Now you're in 2nd down and long.
Kyler Murray underneath. A.J. Green this time secures it for 9 yards. 4:20 to go. 3rd and short. Right back to the ground and Eno Benjamin, the 1st down. Out across the 40 to the 43. Duck inside of 4 minutes to play. 49ers have the ball at the 36-yard line. Murray dumps it off Benjamin into Seattle territory as he's pinballed past a few Seattle defenders.
Now they start picking up the pace a little bit, Adam, as this clock continues to tick.
All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning for Arizona. Murray having a dance in the pocket. Stays behind the line of scrimmage so he can rifle it, but it's incomplete for A.J. Green. What a frustrating day for the 2nd leading receiver for Arizona.
Almost like it just got on him a little bit. He turned around, stopped his route, because he went from short to deep, and then he came back when Murray was under duress, and that ball just got on him a little too quick.
49ers just converted a 3rd and 6 to Juwan Jennings on a big gain. They've got a fresh set of downs in Rams territory. Here comes Eno Benjamin inside the 40 of Seattle. 3:20 to go and a fresh set of downs for the Cardinals. Jordan Brooks, a physical game for he and Barton today. Double-digit tackles apiece. 18 combined between those two. Murray rifles. He's got Zach Ertz inside the 25-yard line. One of his best games against Seattle. Birds playing a key role, 2:40 to go. 2-score lead for Seattle, Arizona. With Murray at the controls, gives to Benjamin, who slipped down. That'll be another Jordan Brooks stop. That is his 19th tackle today. My goodness.
How about that?
Third in the NFL entering week 18.
He's trying to set the record.
Record, I believe, is 20 for Seattle. Here's A.J. Green. He maneuvered around L.J. Collier, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. 49ers are in the red zone. They'll have third down to go on the other side. Meanwhile, here we hit the 2-minute warning, and it's Seattle in control by 11. Things coming down to the... This rivalry goes back to 1976 when the Seattle Seahawks began their existence at the Kingdome in 1976. A battle of the Jims at quarterback. Jim Zorn for Seattle and Jim Hart for the then St. Louis Cardinals. It was called by a Jim, by the way. Jim Thacker and Alex Hawkins called that game for CBS. The first ever regular season game for the Seahawks. You see some of the all-time highs, and look at that second line. Rashad Penny, the most rushing yards all-time in a game in this series going back to 1976. His touchdown has put Seattle up 11 with the 2-minute warning. San Francisco has first and goal against the Rams, trying to win that game. Underneath, Benjamin breaks a tackle, something he did so well at Arizona State, and he takes it down inside the 10. It's first and goal for Arizona.
Well, our guy Benjamin has answered some questions, hasn't he? He had 3 catches going into this game. Can he get that done? The answer is absolutely.
Screen, Green, Jones in space. He makes the tackle for maybe a gain of a half yard. San Francisco wins their game with a touchdown. They have first and goal against the Rams. Elijah Mitchell got stopped on a run to the left. They'll have second and goal. Same situation here. Darrell Taylor being tended to with the clock stopped at 1:24.
Timeout on the field for an injured player. By rule, with the clock running under 2 minutes, this requires a team charge timeout. This will be Seattle's first charge timeout of the second half.
Thank you to Sean Smith for that explanation. So the Seattle Seahawks lose one. Second and goal coming up. Great season for Darrell Taylor, who was unavailable last year, had that stress fracture in his shin. So the second-round pick didn't get any action. He's essentially a rookie and has played very well, especially late in the year.
He really has. He's been the guy off the edge that's opened it up for Green, opened it up for Dunlap. To me, he's been a real difference maker down the stretch here for this Seattle defense.
90 seconds left, second and goal. Arizona needs to score fast. Murray. Rolling, firing, broken up by Jones. He has been all over A.J. Green today.
Well, they've got him in and out bracketed right here. These two guys sitting down there. You see the inside by Jones. Outside by Jones. That's Jones on Jones right there.
Josh and Sidney on the outside.
Yes. Sidney making the play underneath to knock that ball away from A.J. Green.
Niners have third and goal against the Rams. Cardinals have third and goal here. Murray, end zone. He was looking for Ertz, who kind of collided with Barton. Well, Pac-12 Stanford-Utah matchup there. You see Josh Jones is pointing at Zach Ertz, saying that it should be maybe offensive pass interference. Huge call here.
Zach? Yeah. Yeah, Ertz definitely lowered his shoulder and ran through Barton. Here's Zach Ertz right here. Watch him run in to Barton. Right here, lowers his shoulder and just pushes right through him.
Pass interference, offense number 86. 10-yard penalty. Replay third down.
It's the right call.
Yeah. Defender has the right to the space on the field. Ertz just basically pile drives Barton there. That's the right call.
It sets them back now to the 18-yard line. It's 3rd down and goal. Niners have 4th and goal, but they're going to have to settle for a Robbie Gould field goal attempt to take the lead. It does not win the game yet. Murray, end zone. Oh, he had Zach Ertz streaking down the middle. That'll bring up 4th down and goal. Again, it's a 2-possession game, so they can go for the field goal here to make it an 8-point game.
Well, they're just pushing this coverage over, so he's going to run right down the seam here. Ertz is through the middle of the football field. You're going to see right there the safety coming in late to take that throw away. That was 42 Josh Jones coming in late, but he was just pushing. They were man-to-man on the outside. He was pushing across to take away Zach Ertz.
So from 36, Matt Prater, 7 for 7 now his last 2 games. So things have gotten very interesting in Los Angeles. Let's get a little more from 5 of overtime. It took about 7+ off the clock, so the Rams will get the ball back in LA. Here's how we've gotten to our game today with the 24-24 tie at one point. That huge play by Travis Homer to knock it free. Cody Thompson recovered. Russell Wilson would cash in for the go-ahead touchdown. Made it 31-24. And then this huge run, 62 yards from Rashad Penny. This helped extend the lead to 11 after the Cardinals had to settle for a field goal on the drive in between. A career rushing day for Penny, a frustrating day at times for Kyler Murray. Now let's see what Matt Prater can do. 1 for 4 are the Cardinals on onside kicks. And Seattle's going to use a timeout to get set after seeing what the lineup looked like.
30 seconds.
Look at Pete. DB coach by trade, special teams guy by trade. He is just like the CEO, obviously, of Seattle. He just does a little bit of everything, sits in every meeting, goes to the offensive meetings, goes to the D-line meetings, the O-line meetings. This guy has his fingers in everything. He understands every aspect of football, does such a great job, and has done for well over a decade coaching this team.
Got the 2nd longest tenure of any coach in the NFC at 12 seasons. Hans team is out there for Seattle. Saw Tyler Lockett. Metcalf is on one side as well. Arizona needs this. They still do have 3 timeouts. Here it comes, near side. Jordan Brooks trying to hold on to it, and he does. Got a good bounce to it.
Great kick, but I love just the body language of Brooks. Watch him turn his back to protect the ball. So this thing pops in the air. Look at his body mechanics. He turns his back. Watch the defense coming down so he can protect the ball, keep it away from the wave of Cardinals coming down there to hit him. Well, I tell you, that is not fun right there. Really nice job by Jordan Brooks. Has been a tackling machine and receives the onside kick.
Again, Arizona needs 3 stops. And here Penny will pick up 9 yards into Byron Murphy. That does not help Arizona's cause. They do have to burn a timeout here, but now a conversion makes things that much more difficult with only 66 seconds remaining. All the talk about Russell Wilson. We'll see what his future holds. He's got a lot in his own hands. His destiny is his own. But you knew the type of game that he was going to try to have today. You knew the attitude he was going to come in with. It's translated to the play on the field.
Yeah, he's an elite level quarterback, an elite level competitor. Leads this football team. He is the heart and soul of this football team, and I can't imagine him playing anywhere other than Seattle.
4 total TDs today. 2nd down and 1. Handoff for Penny. First down. Huge conversion for Seattle. Arizona has to use its second timeout now. Hold on to that football if you're Rashad Penny, right?
Absolutely. Got to make sure you maintain possession right there. Wrap it up with two hands. Extra yards aren't important right now. Possession is everything.
That'll do it. So the 49ers did their job to help out Arizona, but the Seattle Seahawks come up with an impressive season-closing performance.